More on this story, Ahmed Kaballo is a journalist in London. He's often given us analyses on Sudanese affairs. Hi there, Ahmed, good seeing you. So we've been talking to people who seem split on whether Prime Minister Hamdok's resignation has a meaningful effect on Sudan's political transition. What's your take?
I think it does have a meaningful effect. And the reason why I say that is when the military signed the political agreement with Hamdok on November the 24th, roughly a month after the military coup on October the 25th, they thought that this was a chess move, that it was going to take the sting out the protest and to provide them with some sort of political legitimacy to continue with their military rule. And in some ways it did. The international pressure from the international community, principally the United States, the United Nations, the European Union, seemed to go away. However, the protests on the streets of Sudan did not. They intensified, and hundreds of thousands of people went on protest after protest. There have been 12 protests since that political agreement was signed, and there have been over 56 people killed. So in many ways, by Hamdok resigning, it takes away that political legitimacy. And now we're going to start to see the international pressure mounting on the Sudanese military forces that's already been mounting on the streets of Khartoum. Now, what's interesting about this whole decision is when Hamdok signed the political agreement, which was extremely unpopular on November the 24th, he initially had the Sudanese population split. Some people saw him immediately as a traitor. Other people were disappointed in his decision, but felt that he did it for the right reasons. He said he did it to stop the bloodshed on the streets of Sudan. And he also said that he'd only serve as a transitional prime minister while he had the support of the Sudanese people. Now, when the protests continued with hundreds of thousands of people, when people kept getting killed on the street, 56, 2 people killed on Sunday, it was clear that the bloodshed was not stopping, and he did not have the support of the Sudanese people, and they did no longer supported the transitional process, which was meant to lead to democratic elections. So therefore, he had no leg to stand on. And if he wanted to save his legacy in the Sudanese history books, he had to step down. Some people will be disappointed he didn't do it sooner, but some people are grateful that he's at least done it now.
The anti-military protests, you mentioned quite a bit there, have been grabbing media attention, but the military also has support among those who wanted to remain in charge. What do you think a government, whenever it's finally created, would look like?
Just to clarify what you mean, when you say the military has support from who exactly? From
We've
themselves?
Seen protests in the past of people supporting the military's coup in October.
Yeah, well, this is something that needs to be explained to an international audience. That protest wasn't a genuine, authentic protest. It was a couple of hundred people outside the military headquarters, and people went there with their phones and interviewed some of these people. Some of these people didn't know why they were there. There was a group of young men that thought they were attending a football stadium. There were another group of people that were paid to be there. And there were other people that had direct links to the military. So when you compare a couple of hundred people to hundreds of thousands, it's clear where the support really lies. There is no support on the streets of Sudan for the military regime. If you was to send a reporter there to do vox pops, you won't find people supporting the military regime. This is being manufactured by them to prop up their coup. They did this in the weeks leading up to the coup and then conducted the coup afterwards, so that, with respect, journalists like yourself could pose questions in that way and say, well, there is support. There isn't, and I mean that in the most respectful way possible.
No, I'm Ahmed Kaballo in London. We appreciate your analysis. Thank you so much.